All right. Mic check, mic check. Hey, we back with another episode of Scars. This is episode 2. I got a special guest with me, man. I got my guy, Trav. How you doing, man?
Peace, brother.
Well, real quick, the last time we actually met up, I like to call episodes like that. I call them classic episodes. I know what you coming from your background of, the not saying hip hop, but just music, art background. I think classic is a term you don't necessarily use too quickly. But I feel like from what we talked about and all the history that was in there, and then the comments I got back and all the feedback I got, I would have to put that in that realm because it's still, the replay value on that is so heavy. Even to this day, I get YouTube comments like every week on that video.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I don't know if the guy or if you, I don't know if y'all just sent them out. I don't know if people just finding it, but even people saying they didn't know about the museum, they didn't know about none of that stuff. Like,
Right.
that's classical to me.
Yeah.
You know?
So this is the interview we did about the Golden Blocks
Right.
mural project.
And when I typically set out to do stuff like that, like, you don't know what kind of interview you're getting, you know? Remember, it's probably you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then from that, in the Band of Brothers thing, I had Juneteenth. It's like, it was just a perfect rollout. And I wasn't even, it looked like I was super, like, working crazy, but I wasn't working crazy. It just, like, the time was just perfect.
Right.
And then I can clip out everything so perfectly. So, I usually call any episode like that classical just in a sense of what it did for me at the time.
Yeah.
You know?
I get it.
But
it was history in the making. Like, it was actual history.
No pun intended.
In the making. Right.
How you been though, man?
Doing well, man. Always staying busy.
Well, I know you part of the Band of Brothers. You had a successful Juneteenth event. I know you throw your own events. What's been going on in your world before we get into what we're gonna get into?
Oh man, I would say laying low. You know, it's like kind of laying low.
Trying to.
Yeah, it's a lot of times I frequently do events. You know, like regularly scheduled weekly events. Even regularly scheduled monthly events.
Right.
Well, now for the past year, I haven't really done anything regular. Hadn't done a regular weekly or regular monthly. But now we're actually rolling out. And this is an extension of the radio show, which is always going on.
Right.
So that's a weekly thing. Brother Trav presents Hidden Gems on Round Here Radio on Sundays between the hours of 2 and 4 p.m. Download the app. That's regular. But now I've spun it off. So I did a spinoff for Hidden Gems radio show into a podcast last year. And now I've spun the show into an actual live event in which you can come. It's a Hidden Gems social session.
Like the gift that keep on giving.
Yeah, just it's the brand, man. You know how that goes. Just
got to.
The more times we can have that brand Hidden Gems seen. Right. And it's a cool thing, cool vibe. It's Tuesdays at Icon. It's not really an event. It's just basically we're playing the same music that we would play on a Sunday radio show. And we let that playlist play and bring people in to smoke cigars and sip whiskey.
Gotcha.
And have good conversation.
And I'm glad you said it, because I think now you say that point you just made, I'm pretty sure I'll bring a point up in that later on we can talk about. But I'm pretty sure you're familiar because you watch the podcast. We talk here and there about certain things that we do. And so I started this particular series based on, of course, interview someone, and I guess they may didn't feel a way about it, whatever, and that's fine. But I always felt like social media is a good way to target getting a conversation started.
Yeah.
A post, because that's interaction anyway. Sometimes you see a post, and I might not think the post is nothing, but I might see 87 comments. Well, hold on, let's go back to the post real quick. That just that piece makes me stop. Why is it 87 comments? Let me go and see what the post said. Right. Oh, I misread that. This is controversial, or this is a weird take, or this is a good take. Right. They're tripping by not liking this take. It's a bunch of things that go into play when you're doing it. So I said, well, okay, that one person, cool, but in the grand scheme of things, I said, well, I know I can make this a thing where it should be common that people use your social media to interview. You know what I'm saying? So the first person I did was Tyrus, and the whole thing with P Valley and the gay scenes and that and third. I felt like hearing from someone from that
community.
That community, I got draw blank from that community. You can't say words wrong on camera. Yeah, so from that community, and him having a a good take on how both sides perceive things. It was good to have that conversation just based on social media only. So the whole hour-long conversation is only on posts. I read a post, we talk. I read a post, we talk. I read a post, we talk. And that's just how it goes from there.
Yeah.
And that you learn about him, we come to understand about other things. It's like in that you learn so much more than just anything considering or doing with just being gay. It's about just being human sometimes, or just, being a good person,
I got it.
So I want to keep that up, and I think having these scarred conversations it's going to be a play on words, of course, because of how I went about things, but also at the same time, it's just to show that having those conversations from social media are actually healthy. So even what you do, your background in artistry, right? People can see this and see a different side of you. So somebody might say, well, damn, it's the second time you're on the show this year. You don't normally do 2 guests in 1 year. What he do? Oh, he do this. Now they're going to check that out. But mind you, you didn't come here talking about that, so to speak.
There you go, right.
But that's the beauty of all of this, is that it'll come full circle.
I get it.
With that being said, so I know the last Thinking Out Loud I talked about support. Now that wasn't supposed to be. I was supposed to come in and talk with my friend. I ended up doing that later on, but I ended up talking about him and how he supported me, and I started thinking about all the questions I answer when it comes to support. I answer differently sometimes, because sometimes I feel like, as an artist, I feel like you shouldn't be complaining about support. You should just accept support you get and work on those, and then worry about how to gain more. Instead of, if once you know who not supporting, I feel like that's like an open test, open book quiz, where like, they not. So you can either see why they're not, or you can say, well, they are, so I'm gonna focus on them and just hope that grows, right?
Right.
That's how I talk to some people. From this perspective, I was like, let me talk from a perspective of talking to someone who just needs to support that person based off friendship, longevity. Just, I know you and I know you a lot, so I know me supporting you may benefit you, because it may push you. It may may help you do more, help you keep going.
Yeah.
Almost like that kid that's at a basketball game or playing sports, but his parents never come to his games. So at some point, like, I ain't playing, I ain't gonna make the league. Plus my parents, they don't care. But then you got the kid who isn't really that good, but they parents support 100%, and for some reason, like, that helps him to never stop, and he gets better as he go along. So you just never know. Totally. That's the perspective I talked from.
You made some good points.
I tried to.
You made a lot of good points on there, and just something I haven't thought about. Like a different approach to it,
right,
was when you said you got to let people know how to support you. Correct. You got to let them know what you expect.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Is a lot of times, and I had to think about it from my perspective, is like, sometimes I could, in my head, I could get to where I'm like, man, these people aren't supporting. But in their head, they could think they're supporting. Why? Because I look at all your Facebook posts. I click like.
I liked it.
You know what I'm saying? I click like on it.
I liked it.
Or it could be they tell their friends, right? They tell their, hey,
right.
I my man Trav, he do poetry or whatever. All that's support, and it's appreciated. But to let them know, hey man, can you please share this? Right. Like, let them know that take it a little step further, and it's good that you hit like, but hit the share button as well. But you got to let them know that. We can't assume that they're going to do it.
Can't assume. And I think art is so, and that's why I understand, and I'm gonna say it now, shout out to Shoes. I understand how he felt, because art is so sensitive, because you put your all into it, your heart and soul into it. So if you're not getting supported, you feel away. If you are, you like, but you could do it this way. It's like, it's always gonna be something that's like, but because it's real meticulous, And I guess, let me ask you, because I don't know if I ever asked you or anybody know, and I guess it could be a clip, whatever. Like, we'll get into your post in just a second, right? But when you think about, and I guess your post does kind of say it, but I guess it would make sense to say it. But anyway, what would be some ways to support you? Like, you would like, what does support look like for you, as it pertains to social media only? We'll get to the post in a minute, but like sharing, likes, commenting, like, what do you like? What do you prefer?
All that, like sharing, likes, engage. A lot of times, because I'm a poet, and a lot of times I kind of like to consider myself a philosopher, right?
Right.
And so I'm putting something out there for you to think about, but also I want you to engage. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to hit like, But let's engage because I apparently on certain posts is because I want that dialogue to go on.
I was gonna say
Right.
you want to spark conversation.
I
You want
want
to
to
spark
spark the
dialogue. You want
conversation. And then a lot of times, you know, with in the day and age that we are with the emojis and stuff, somebody might just say, you know, put a flame like.
Yo, that's crazy. Yo, last year, I'm gonna have to tag you in it. Last year, me and my guy, Jace, I was pushing him, and we talked about support, the same very conversation in another room, and I was like, yeah, because what do you want? He said, well, no, give me a bar. I said, tell me what was hot, what was not. I said sometimes people just see the flame emoji, and you like. Is it hot or you just saying that because that's what you're using? Like,
Right.
that tells me it's very vague.
It's very vague.
Did you listen to it? Damn.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
You might just think it's hot that I'm writing poetry. You know what I'm
That's it.
saying? Like,
Yeah, so you saying that is just funny to me because it just sparked me to like,
Yeah.
I think that's very common. We should actually make that a thing. We should like ban the fire emoji as a response to anything to do with art because
Right.
if you send something, say somebody put it under my post fire and they put it on your post fire, it's like, I ain't a poet, so what are we doing that's both fire? Like,
Right.
it's
exactly.
very vague.
Yeah. But when I wrote the poem, it's like it's packed with things that we can talk about.
Let's dissect it.
Yeah, let's do that. And then they just use the flame emoji or just say hashtag dope or something like that.
And the dopest thing about what we're talking about right here, and I'm glad it's you because of with your ties to the community and all these people that we kind of know in common, right? That's what we're going to do today anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that, even though it's not poetry, I know it's not a piece that you have. That can be considered a piece. I don't know if you know it or not, but you can actually go up there and perform that post I'm going to read as a piece. I look at the ending as, you might not understand it, but if you don't, thanks for your support.
Mm-hmm.
That's like you coming full circle. And
Right.
most pieces do that, right?
It's spoken word.
But everything can be broken down. Like when I'm reading in full, and then when we break it down, we can break it down in parts because each part is a different conversation. You see what I'm saying? That's
Right.
but I can see being an artist where it gets tricky when you post these things like that. And it's like, I want y'all feedback. Give it to
I
me.
want the engagement.
I ain't like this line. What do you mean by this? Ask me that. What do I mean by that?
Right.
Like even if it's fire to you, but you might be in the dark about a line. I said, ask me what that line mean. That's dialogue.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why I created the Hidden Gems focus sessions, the podcast that's a spinoff of the radio show
Right,
because it gives the artists an opportunity because, I've been interviewed on several platforms. Every interview sounds pretty much the same because I'm the same person with the same history. And so if I go on another platform and they ask me the same line of questions, the interview
Where you from not
turns out
changing.
to be the same. Yeah, where I'm from is how long I've been doing this, a year longer than I did, last year or whatever. But what are my influences? Influence is the same thing that they were on the other 20 podcasts I did.
I know, right?
You know what I'm saying? That didn't change. But what did change is I dropped this new poem that I want to now let's talk about.
Right.
So I think the artists want to discuss their art more than they want to discuss themselves. And the Hidden Gem focus sessions give us an opportunity to do that.
Okay, I like that. And that's why I feel like too is dope. And I feel like as an artist too, we always talk about support, and this, that, and third. But I think even from my side of things, as an artist, when somebody comes up here, it's probably best I know what you're looking for in the interview or in the conversation to have, right? Because if not, you leave it up to me. And if you leave it up to me, we're gonna be doing these because or I'm gonna be talking about stuff that people want to know, and you might want to be in the dark about that. You might want to talk about only these tracks.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the trap. I have to know that though. So when you say what support like, what does a Trav interview look like? What does a Trav a dialogue look like? Deep dive look like? Like it's all different for different people, you know. So don't leave it up to the person that's doing that owns the platform. Tell me what
came
you
back
want.
around to what we were originally saying when I was
Exactly.
saying I like what you put on
Exactly.
your, what you talked about support. You got to let them know what to expect.
Got to, man.
You got it. It's all in about communication.
So with that though, and I think the thing I did about support did really well. So I'm happy for that. People, it's still doing well. Even I put it on TikTok and it was doing well. I don't know how I work TikTok, but apparently I'm doing good on TikTok, so that's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and read your post now, so we can kind of start chopping away at it, right? I'm reading full first.
Yeah.
This is my voice, by the way. All right, I do change a little bit, but I'm not mimicking your voice. It's my reading voice. Like you know, if you're reading glasses on, I got a reading voice. This may sound confusing and ungrateful, but hear me out, please. Thanks for your support, but I don't want your support. I appreciate your support when it comes to you supporting my artistry and my events, but I really don't want you to check out what I'm offering as a gesture of support. When I attend a concert of my favorite artist, I don't feel like I'm going to support the artist. I'm going genuinely because I want to go enjoy the show. When I listen to music, I'm not listening because I want to support that artist. I'm listening because I really dig their music. When a person says they are coming to an event to support someone else, leaves me to question if they really enjoy what they're supporting. Why are they supporting? Are they supporting out of loyalty or even guilt or some other motivation? People in the arts community often say, please support your local artists. Artists and artistry isn't charity. We create art for you to appreciate because it's what you enjoy. I say, have a good time and do what brings you enjoyment. If that enjoyment is checking out some of my art or attending my event, then we both win. I'm not sure anyone will get what I'm saying.
Right.
With that being said, thanks for
you
your support. Wink emoji, okay? That was beautifully put. And you can always tell when somebody who does art make posts because I feel like it's a poem. But it's just a post.
Yeah. And that, like my poetry, before I sit down and write a poem, it's been rattling around in his head for weeks, usually,
Just
sometimes
cooking up.
months.
Boiling.
Yeah, just rattling around, and then sometimes even actually like structuring it, trying to figure out how to say it.
Right.
This is something that has been on my mind for a while, but I didn't know how to approach it. Like I didn't know how to say it because that's a dangerous post
Very dangerous
to put out for somebody who relies on your support. Like I rely on your support.
But I'm telling you,
and it's a dangerous place to go. But I wanted to express myself, and I wanted to come on here because I wanted to actually elaborate. I didn't know how people would react to the post. I was shocked that it got over 100. What might be 100 and how many responses now? How many reactions? If you can see, you're looking at a screenshot. But yeah, it's probably 130 reactions on that post now. I had no idea.
142.
I had no idea it would do those kind of numbers. I thought it might have a couple of posts and then maybe some people, more people mad at me.
Right. I call a post like that when you say the reactions, I call those true reactions because I'm looking at it, only 4 shares, but 100 and something people stopped and said, that these likes for a post like this aren't just hit and go.
Right.
They read it and probably understood it.
Right. And that's the other thing. It's very wordy. So a lot of people aren't going to read wordy posts. They'll just keep scrolling.
As I read it, I was going to tell them, like, hey, it's almost over. It's not almost over.
Right.
It's all good.
So I was shocked that it had that kind of response. I threw it out there, and that's what happened. And then your video dropped, a couple of days, within a couple of days of it. And I said, wow, this is a popular conversation. This is something that needs to be said because in our arts community, and, even with what it is that you do, you're in our creatives community, it's something that we talk about often.
I wonder, because you said something just now, and we'll get into post in just a second, but I do wonder, where do you fall at when you're doing this type of, my type of work? Because you do it too, technically speaking. And I wonder, do you fall under the creative side or do you fall on the art side? And I only ask that question. I guess it's all the same, maybe. Yeah. Because with some interviews, like even this or some interviews that I do curate it, particularly for an idea I'm trying to push out. So whereas you might use words and schemes and rhymes and things to create a message or convey a message, I'm using questions and I'm predicting what they might answer to ask that follow-up question. If they don't, I'm creating this roadmap to get to a certain point B. When I started in point A, when I said, mic check, So I wonder, I be wondering, is that creative or is that art? Because it's beautiful both ways.
It's definitely a skill set. I'm a student of the game. I do interviews as well. I mean, I conduct interviews as well. but I watch a lot of interviews
Right.
as a student, just trying to, different people, Barbara Walters, Oprah, you know what I'm saying? It's just, watch how they do it. One of my favorite podcasters on YouTube, he goes by the name Brother Rich. I love how he sets up his questions. He does similar to you. He doesn't just fire off the question.
Right.
He'll set it up. He'll speak sometimes for 3 or 4 minutes and then the question.
Right. I had to learn that too because,
Yeah.
and I know you probably, I don't know if you do this or not, but it's so hard to do because you ask a question and they about to answer you like, but I mean this way. And I had to learn, like, let me say my but first and then ask the question. Because
Right. Let me build up.
yeah, because that seems so off. You say, how you like this? Because before you answer and then you start talking, it's like, that's so off.
Yeah,
but
it's like the setup.
it's something you got to learn.
Right, it is.
But get into the post. This is a lot. This is a lot to digest, right? This may sound confusing and ungrateful, but hear me out, please. Thanks for your support, but I don't want your support.
Ouch.
Let's stop there.
Ouch.
That's a good place to stop because that's that part right there can be the confusion you're talking about with how they gonna take the post. You don't want support.
Yeah.
You can at that point you either keep reading or it's fuck Trav.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And those that feel that way probably kept scrolling after they
Probably.
read that.
I wonder because with all the reactions you got, it made me think that people was really worried, about what you thought about that. Because even later on, when we'll get into it at some point, but later on, when you say guilt, this, that, and third, someone that's pointing out like guilt may keep reading. Like, whoa, the jig is up. I'm caught. You know what I'm saying? I'm caught.
Right.
So let's first dissect that. Like, thanks for your support, but I don't want your support.
Yeah. Thanks, but no thanks.
Walk me through that. Like, what does that line mean to you?
That's the basis of the post. The rest of it is just me trying to explain that, right?
Right.
So I'm thankful for your support. I am. It would be no Brother Trav, the God brother that's been in the game in Augusta since 1997, 98, without your support, like really. So I really do appreciate your support. Here's my thinking. Support, when someone is offering someone support, it can almost feel like a chore or a task. I shared a GIF under there with a comment when I was engaging with someone who responded. And it just kind of like had a GIF of a guy that's kind of like deep sigh, like, oh, let me go support Bobby Boucher at this little event that he got going on. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I kind of like when somebody says like, they got to go support. It almost feels like they're making it feel as if it's a task or is as if they're doing you a favor.
True.
Like, oh, yeah, well, the hat that you have on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I complimented the hat. Hey, man, I like the hat. When I got here, I like your bucket hat. You know what I'm saying? You bought the hat. Why? Because you dig the hat, but you were also supporting. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think when you say support, it's just so much gray area right there.
So when you say that, I'm actually thinking about, and everything you're saying is true. Also, we'll get into it in a second, but what you're saying and just I'm gonna say, not in rebuttal, but in agreement with you or just to you, is both of it's coming from the place of I think both being correct, both being ways you can look at things, right? Mm-hmm. So when you say that and you go, thanks for your support, but no thanks, and saying it could be considered a chore, that's true. And I think that the thing is, even I look at this hat. When I went to that event, I remember it was super hot outside. I remember I had work, I don't know how many days straight. I remember it was my only day off. I remember having my daughter with me still, so I had to maneuver. And I'm like, do I really want to start this camera and actually do this event now?
Right.
So even though I was supporting the event, it could have felt as like a chore because I'm doing it because it needs to be done, but do I genuinely want to do it? Mm-hmm. As I started to do it, I instantly liked everything I was doing, if that makes sense, right? So it's not, and I want people to make this clear. It's not that saying if you're doing it as a chore, you're doing something wrong, so to speak. But for you, right? When you talk about how support looks for you, you may not want a person to at the stage you're in right now to come to anything you have as a chore. Does that make sense? Like, oh, let me just
I almost want to say man, this is like thin ice, this conversation. I almost want to say, if you don't want to be there, I really don't want you to be there. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anybody. I don't want an audience full of people who are just there because they don't dig it. They're not digging what's happening. They only are there because Trav's my man, and I told him I was going to come support. So now they're there, but they're likely to be on their phones. Their thoughts are elsewhere. They're likely to be having conversation while poets are on stage trying to talk.
Is it safe to say that if they're there, like kind of like how you just said, there's a possibility that they're not going to receive what you're even putting out the way you would want them to receive it in the first place?
That's fair.
But it's possible they can, though, but the chances they will are probably slim to none now because I'm going to go ahead and give them 20 minutes of my time real quick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then the flip side of that is it's almost now because you feel like you did me a favor, now you feel like I owe you a favor.
Right.
Man, I came out to support Trav at his thing, but he's not supporting me. Well, I mean, I didn't look at it like you came out to support. I thought you came because you wanted to freaking come turn up or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't know you was doing me a favor. Like, oh, my bad.
Definitely, no. I definitely get that part. I definitely understand that part of it, right? So I'm gonna read a little bit more down. Maybe we'll get a deeper understanding. As we go along, I think they'll understand it more too. I appreciate your support when it comes to you supporting my artistry and my events, but I really don't want you to check out what I'm offering as a gesture of support. So that kind of explains what you just said. You know, you want people to support because they like what you have to offer. I like his poetry. I like his spoken word. I like his ideology. I like the picture he painting. So I want to go and see his show. I want to go and listen to Hidden Gems. Not because you said. So let me ask you this: when you're saying, "Hey, make sure y'all come out and support me on the 26th. I'm gonna be such and such," right? Like should the consumer look at that as a chore? Like it's almost if they are being baited into coming out, or are you just doing that for the ones who want to come out?
Right. So words are important. And so now I kind of, experience, like over the years, I'm kind of trying to use that word less. You know, I don't want to say, hey, I'm doing this event on the 9th, y'all come out and support. Now then I'm asking them to do me a favor again.
That's how it feels.
It feels like I'm asking them, what's the favor? So they got to come support me. That's the favor. I'm asking you to do me a favor.
Gotcha.
And that's to come support what I'm doing. Rather than just putting a post out there, and the excitement should draw you there if that's something that you're attracted to, without me having to add on support. You know what I'm saying? I've looked at this thing so many ways. Think about it. Support is a term that's married to the struggle. It's a term that's married to someone or a business that is not prospering.
True.
Nobody ever says, man, I'm going to go buy this hot polo because I need to support Ralph Lauren.
That's a good point.
Right?
That's a good point.
You know? Yeah. And when you bought the shirt, you really didn't feel like you were supporting Ralph. You really didn't even think about it. You didn't consider
it. Genuinely just like the shirt.
You genuinely like the shirt or what it does for you when you wear the shirt.
That's a good point. And what you said just now about support being married to struggle, that's another way to look at it as well. Because normally when you use that word, it's because we're going to say up and coming. I like to use words they'll understand. Up and coming, just starting, trying to get you on your feet with your support. You're trying to get on your feet.
It's support.
That's just
right? It's
how
a
it
structure.
is. Yeah.
You know, I need your support.
You think about
And
back braces.
we
you think
do.
About,
That's why it's kind of like and we do, and we appreciate your support, and we need your support. We need your continued support. It's a tricky thing. It's just words. You know what I'm saying?
So when you think about it, I mean, I guess you're right. You have to use words, right? Because support, I guess, genuinely just means that we're helping, you're lifting, we're doing something,
Foundation
helping you
for you to. You're helping to lift me up, and that's why I'm appreciative of it.
You read this. I know what to do. It says, when I attend a concert of my favorite artist, I don't feel like I'm going to support the artist. I'm going genuinely because I want to enjoy the show. When I listen to music, I'm not listening because I want to support the artist. I'm listening because I really dig their music.
Right.
Now, I'm glad you didn't necessarily use a particular artist, but when you think about it, you got your Jay-Z's, your Nas, your Kendrick Lamar's, your Drake's, your higher people, right? I'm not going to download Drake to support him. I'm going because I want to hear what he got to say, right?
Yeah, and I'm a fan.
So I get, so my thing was that, like, okay, should the average consumer or the local consumer, whatever, how we saying it, the supporters, the consumers, the fans, the listeners, should they look at, I mean, I'll just use you, look at Trav as their most def. Let's just say most def. I'm using black poets I know, you know. Whereas you go to a most def concert, you're not supporting, you're just going because you're like, oh, I like most def. You know what I'm saying? You want them to feel the same about a Trav concert. You want them to come out because I like Trav, not because you know each other. Mm-hmm. But is that a problem though?
No, it's not. It's not a problem because, like I said, we appreciate it either way. At the end of the day, and Olivia Cookie, she and I were having a dialogue on that post because she made a comment. She was one of the few that kind of made a comment, kind of like, I really don't agree with what you're saying. So we kind of interacted a little bit on that post. But yeah, I was just, you know, what we had to come to agreement of is either way, they supported. Mm-hmm. You know, whether I knew I was supporting Jay-Z by me buying that $150 ticket, I supported Jay-Z.
Yeah. Keep the lights on somewhere.
Yeah, I support it.
It's just that now that one person represents multiple though.
But it wasn't my motivation for going to see Jay-Z.
His lights gotta stay on. I gotta go buy it. His lights gotta stay on. He need to buy diapers. No, it's just I like the music.
Yeah. Exactly.
You just have to make money off every ticket he's selling.
Right, exactly. So it's just, you know, the whole thing is kind of like tricky.
Cause I can see how this could. I'm not scarring you, by the way, am I? You're not getting scarred by this.
No.
Okay, cool. I have to check with artists. I know artists are a little sensitive than others.
No trauma here.
Thank you. Okay. But yeah, so I asked that question because I mean, I read it and I read that part of when I attend a concert of my favorite artist, I don't feel like I'm going to support the artist, right? I go to my favorite artist. And then I'm thinking about, I'm going to just keep using you because I don't want to use other people. I'm thinking about you, right? To the person, let's say the person's favorite artist is Kendrick Lamar, right? Mm-hmm. Now they're like, but he not Kendrick Lamar. You know, that's the mindset, right? But also, do you know Kendrick Lamar? Because if you knew him, you probably wouldn't be supporting him because that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes, like, when you know somebody, I don't know why it's like that, but if I know you, I won't. I'll support you. I won't do it genuinely. It's just like, oh, share that? I bet I share it. Mm-hmm. Kendrick could just post P, and people would tweet and share P. They don't know what P mean. Right. I'm not even saying the P stuff that was going on this year. I'm just saying a letter like he can say ouch, and everybody gonna share it because it's genuinely just saying ouch. Now everybody hurting, right? Mm-hmm. That's just how it goes. So I guess like I see both sides of it. I see the side from the artistry part. Like I feel the same way. I have this thing where other day I posted on my Popeyes, right? I posted something about Popeyes. Yeah. And then people were saying, they were like, you should tag your thing. Somebody told me that I like their opinion, so I did it with them. But the first people asked me, I'm like, I don't care about that. Like, I feel silly. I'm like, I took a picture of something that I should have just threw my logo on it or something because everybody done stole a picture and used it, right? But I don't care about it that much. I don't care about it, you know? But at the same time, people genuinely thought it was funny or had a feeling toward it, so they shared it. Not because I was from More Than the Masters, no, like that wasn't the case.
Right.
Had it been a video from More Than Masters, you know what I'm saying? Then it's not saying it's a struggle, but it's not the same type of It's no viral. It's just the people who enjoy that going to share that. You know what I'm
I get
saying?
it.
So I definitely understand that train of thought when
Right.
you got to put in different situations. That's how I feel.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying, and really, the post is less about the public and more about me, because what it's saying is my objective as an artist is to create something, a thing, an event, create something that people genuinely want to come to, that people genuinely want to listen to, that people are genuinely checking for when I say, hey, I'm dropping a new album on next month on the 15th. You know what I'm saying? My objective, my goal as an artist is not, I'm not aiming to put a work of art out for people to support.
Got you.
That's not the goal.
You want them to celebrate it, love it, like it, dislike it, whatever.
Right, because see, the support is limited numbers. Only limited people will feel obligated to support you. You know, friends, family.
Yep.
Am I creating something for friends, family? I'm not creating it for friends and family.
And you making a good point, but I have to. I think for people I know that's gonna watch this, I have to kind of ask you this question here, right? How much stress is relieved when you stop thinking about friends, family, when as relation to in relation to not just support, but in what support like for you? Mind you, we're using support as a word right now, just of saying genuine. But obviously, we know now we broke it down a little more, and support kind of just means help anyway, right?
Right.
When you stop looking at friends or family as being the ones who are your core audience, who are supposed to do X, Y, Z, how much stress is released from you as far as art and how people perceive it?
Yeah, good question. This is, I've been involved in this for a long time, and so throughout the years, I've had roller coasters of emotions in responses to lack of support, lack of attendance, that kind of thing at events, or I've had successes. There's highs, lows, peaks, and valleys when you do this for so many years. And one of the things when I was probably in that first decade or so, yeah, I probably was maybe even salty a little bit when I didn't get the support of friends and family like I thought I would get. I'm in my hometown. You know what I'm saying? My family is here, both sides for the most part. I graduated high school here. I graduated Augusta Tech here. Like, I know a lot of people in Augusta, you know what I'm saying? And so if I was to host an event or release an album or drop a new music video or whatever, why am I only getting 30 responses? Why am I only getting an audience with 40 people, when I know 100 people, I know 300 people,
Right.
And then out of the 40 people that came, maybe two of them might have been classmates. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So why is my class not supporting me? That's stressful.
That messes the psyche of
It can mess
creating
you up.
art, though, and
It can mess you up. It can totally discourage you. And so that's kind of what I'm saying in the post as well. Like, let's not look for the people let's not rely on the supporters. Artists, let's not rely on the supporters. Our objective as creatives and artists is not to create something for our supporters.
Mm-hmm.
It's to create something that people genuinely enjoy.
And I want to ask, like, when you talk about that and you talk about in the past having to give it that hump of I know this amount of people on these people supporting, it takes that to get to this place of this post. This post is a lot of maturity in it. It's a lot of because it's the mature thing to do to make a post like this because you have to be very transparent with people are watching you. So now this post could do two things. It's going to you're going to have a true number of people who actually support you now, quote unquote. That's what we're using, right? And then, or you're going to see, okay, that person only supported because maybe I was saying it. Maybe they never really genuinely rocked with it, but
Yeah.
it give you a true, okay, that's not one of them, cool. Don't mean you can't win them over later on or whatever it can be because art is art, it'll happen. But it give you a true setting of okay, this is my audience, right? This is my core audience. This is the people who, when I drop something, they're looking for it. If that makes sense.
Right.
And I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. I think this post, it can be taken in different ways, but I definitely feel like there's pieces in this poem. I'm gonna keep saying poem. I want to read a part though. It says, when a person says that they're coming to an event to support someone else, leads me to question if they really enjoy what they're supporting. Why are they supporting? Are they supporting out of loyalty, guilt, or some other motivation? Just answer those questions, man. Why are they supporting? I think that regardless of the reason, like you said, and me and you talked about it on here, regardless of what, so if somebody's gonna share, you're not gonna tell them, hey, don't share because you don't really like my music. It's just a share. You're not gonna go comment and say that, right? Cool, you shared it. But it's just something about a genuine person genuinely liking. That's why I like the shares. Cause I think sometimes when people share your stuff, it don't mean nothing. But when they share and they got other words with it, I have to at some point, just me personally as someone who does this, I have to be able to distinguish someone who like really enjoyed this clip versus someone who just like me, or someone who just like the fact that I'm doing it, or someone who just shared it because they want to keep their name. Some other motivation. Make sure you see me all the shares. We're just gonna share it. You know, it's no support. I'm just saying that. It's no, I love this. I like he said this, or yes.
They
this.
may have
it's
not
just certain
even
things.
watched it.
It's a fire emoji. That's the fire. Smoking flame, the smoking mirror. That's that to me.
They
The
may
fire
not
emoji
have even watched it.
The fire
and
emoji
still
is gonna
hit the share button, and we appreciate that. But I want you to watch it. You know, that,
definitely.
like right. Which is more important to you, the share or the listen?
Ooh.
I'm the interviewer's asking the interview.
I like both. I'm not gonna lie. So that's the thing, right? Let me tell you. This is because like everybody said, no matter how you look at what we talking about, nobody's gonna be wrong in a situation. If you feel like supporting from loyalty or whatever, or motivations is cool, that's fine. Somebody somewhere is gonna appreciate that regardless. I would appreciate it regardless. I don't care. But when you ask that question, this is my thoughts on shares, and this is why I'll probably pick shares more sometimes, because you might share something. Let me just use you. You share something. And of that, just from you sharing, 7 to 10 people may listen because they might like your ear. You philosophize a lot of, that's that word? I don't know. We're going to say this.
We can make it.
Okay. We philosophize a lot of things. You know, it sounds cool. Like somebody said in the 90s. And, you know, 5 to 7 people listen to it. Now, if one person listened to it, and that's fine if one person did it, because I'm going to take my listeners one at a time regardless. But yeah, I'm going to take the 5 to 7 too if I can. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it just depends on who share, and it's how you share it. It's times where you can share something and like you are pretty much telling people, listen to this. Without me telling them. I might share a clip and just say, I shared a clip the other day and I put the big homie and I tag my friend. But I've seen people sharing and saying, yo, I love this. I love this kind of friendship. Let me know, like, damn, they watched the whole thing? You know what I'm saying? Let me know that.
Right.
Conversations, let me know that. So sometimes, yeah, I will take the share over that one listening, because that one person that's listening, and to go back to what we said about support, is just so crazy. Like, you could listen. I'm going to say me. I could listen, and I could not share it. And that don't mean that that person shouldn't look at what I did to support. I listened to it.
Right.
I just didn't give dialogue. I didn't give feedback. So technically speaking, I didn't support how you wanted me to support you, but I supported in my own way. Which
goes back to the start of the conversation. Right. Absolutely.
You have to show people how to support you the way you want to be supported.
The way you want to be supported.
And that's what this is, and that's why I want to put too much. This is what this is. That post is you saying, hey, at this stage in my career, my life, at this point, not saying before you wouldn't have, but I'm not looking for that right now. I'm looking for a genuine, I want to know who my core audience is now. I want to know who really supporting.
Right. Like, you know, it's just, it's almost a defense mechanism that's like saving me from being disappointed from the lack of support from those that's not supporting that I think should support. Definitely. Like you were saying on your show, you know, when I watched your Thinking Out Loud, you were actually saying it seemed like it should be a no-brainer. Like somebody, your friend, like they know where you live, they know your kids' names and stuff like that.
Know you
like
work,
it seemed like that should be a no-brainer. Well, it's not.
At all.
It's not a no-brainer.
At all.
So in order for me to avoid being salty with a lot of people that I'm like close to, I'd rather have that approach to where, you know what, I'm not really that's not my goal.
Right.
My goal is not to get that audience. It's not to get the friends and the family and the schoolmates. It can't be.
Right.
Because I tried that.
I definitely, and that's why I said like this post can be perceived so many ways, because in every single way, I see points where everybody can be like, they can kind of put their foot like in the I'm right direction. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it's just about how you feel here with this kind of post. Like, when you say, you know, why are you supporting? Is it out of loyalty? You would think that's the no-brainer, right? Mm-hmm. I grew up with you. I went to school with you. Your mom know me. I ate food in your kitchen. You didn't took me places and took me a ride here. You gave me gas money. I didn't pay you back. You didn't trip.
Right.
You drop something, I should hit the share off that alone. Right. I know you. Yeah. I know your kids. You know what I'm saying? I've been.
Right.
But at some point, at the same time, you do have to show people how you want to support. Now, maybe I might be sharing your stuff. I might never listen to this, right? How can I? So if somebody was to come to me and say, "Yo, I know you share his stuff. Like, is he really good?" What am I gonna say now? Oh, I don't know, man. Just be sharing it because it's my homeboy. Right. All right. You done lost a possibly true supporter now too. Yeah. It's so many ways to look at it, right? But like you said, it's a no-brainer. So we talk to these friends that we have, or these people that talk to us every day, that we feel like, damn, I ain't getting no love, because I feel like at the stage you're in, you may not feel this way because of how decorated you become over the course of your career. But the person that just starting out, which I guess is a no-brainer to us now after breaking what support is down, they are connected to struggle. Mm-hmm. So it's a struggle to feel like, is what I'm doing worth it?
Right.
I'm putting all this time and effort in, but I'm only getting one share. I'm only getting one person to buy this. Mm-hmm. Only 10 people came out to this show. This post ain't getting no interactions. They need the support. They're struggling. They're not thriving. Mm-hmm. So they want support. Right. That is what it's for.
Yeah. We need the support. I think so. If I'm aiming that post towards somebody who's, say, fresh in the game, that post is for them, because that post is trying to save them from the heartbreak and disappointment that I experienced when I was a newbie. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, don't expect that. Don't expect the people that you think are your supporters. Don't try to eat off of them. Don't try to eat off of them.
You.
If I'm creating a brand or a product with the intention on, oh man, I got this, tea or whatever. Everybody in my family should be buying this tea. You know what I'm saying? Like,
everybody drink tea, right? It's the black community,
or they should. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody in my family should. Why they go buy Lipton or Tetley or whoever. You know what I'm saying? But now, why don't they come to me to buy the tea? You know what I'm saying? And now that creates a thing in your head when, if you just understand from the beginning, that's not who you're aiming at.
Right.
You know, it's, as somebody with a background in marketing, we market using what they call target marketing. So you pick your audience, you pick your target. Like, okay, who am I aiming this at?
But that's a question you have to ask. Just like you asking this question, that's kind of the question artists have to ask. Like, who am I aiming this for? Is it for your mom, your dad, your sister, your best friend, their best friend? Like, or is it for this person that you don't know? So you have to find a way to. So it's twofold, definitely twofold. Because what happens is the person that don't know to ask that question or to have that theory or that plan packed down already is mad at mom, dad, best friend, because they're not sharing. But that's not even the audience.
That's not their audience.
But they know that already.
Right.
You just don't know that, but you feel like because they know you, they're supposed to support it, and it's not wrong or no thing. But it's like, yeah, like you said, if you're trying to suffer, or you're trying to not suffer heartbreak or being down,
keep them from being scarred.
Hey, I ain't trying to scar nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to keep them from being scarred.
You don't want to get scarred, man. Right. This is just not. It's not a thing you want to do.
I'm falling on the sword with this post, y'all.
I'm trying to tell you, right?
This is like, woo,
Sparta. But yeah. So I definitely get that. And I don't know. Can you describe to me support, not a guilt? What would that look like? Like, I'm not. That's actually probably the most controversial part of this.
Out of guilt, meaning, man, I haven't went to support nothing Trav did yet.
I feel like you answered that.
And he's doing something, and it's his birthday. You know what I'm saying? So, baby, we've been telling him we've been coming out for the past 20 years. Come on and let's support Trav at his birthday event. They were guilty. They felt guilty because they didn't do it all along. You know, and I'm just saying it opens up the doors. There's a TikTok video or something that's like it went viral, and there's a daughter and her mom, and the daughter is she's singing her song, whatever, and it sounds awful, and the mom is behind her and she just got this dance and she's just like fully engaged in it. She knows the words, she's mouthing the words, she's doing this dance like mom's a writer, you know what I'm saying? But this girl right here, unless she really, really like goes and invests in some voice lessons, she's not gonna make it as a singer. You know what I'm saying? Like she's not gonna make it as a singer unless it's gonna be an auto-tune thing. But so that's an example of she's got a supporter. Mm-hmm. But you know, am I good? In her head, is she thinking that she's good because her mama thinks it's good? Grandma said it was fire. Her best friends who were scared to like
grandma didn't hear it.
See? Yeah, like her friends who were scared to like break her feelings are telling like, girl, that's good. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like those are supporters. They're like patting you on the back all along. And you might be going down the wrong alley. Like you might not truly, genuinely need to be a singer.
So what about, and I know the singing part, that makes perfectly sense. But you said or some other motivation, right? Mm-hmm. Now I know some ways you can kind of break that down to where somebody just like has some other alternative to why they're supporting you, they're sharing it. Sometimes it's the whole thing of, I don't believe in you, but let's make it feel like I do just in case you make it. I can say I was there the whole time. That's the main thing I think about when you say that. But I think about, what about supporting for motivation? Like, I may not necessarily really feel everything you're doing, right? But I want to keep pushing you so you can keep going. So I'm going to share everything you post. And I may be checking everything out that you post. I'm going to give you criticism, feedback. Do I actually like everything? Am I a crazy fan of this person? Everything this person's doing? Probably not. But because I'm trying to motivate the person, mm-hmm. I'm supporting, I'm sharing, I'm calling, I like when you said this, but the other part I ain't really like too much, but change this up. I may not be pointing out all the flaws, but maybe one or two to give them some criticism, point out one or two good things. The compliment sandwich, the little thing, that the compliment sandwich thing, so they can eat that, and then they, also, because I also like this, we talk about support in a way where, you want to be supported how you want to be supported. But at the same time, I do feel like when they are struggling, they first coming out, sometimes that lack of support from anywhere, because they don't know their target audience, they don't know to go search for that, hinders them from creating even further. Because let me stop. This ain't worth this. Waste my time because I'm wasting that person's time, the person they sharing, and they can get discouraged. I'm real big in art, just like trying to
motivate.
Yeah, motivate, but I want to lessen the amount of people discouraged from making art due to the climate we in with social media and them feeling like they have to have that support, that following, that fan base. I don't use that word, but fan base. Cause I feel like sometimes people feel like they don't have that. They feel like they don't have nothing. They can't compete with this person because that person got 13,000 followers and you only got 900. Mm-hmm. But even though numbers, which is a whole nother story, but I just feel like sometimes that discourages the artist or somebody that's creating art or creators or whatever the case may be, because we live in a viral society. We live in a society where numbers, even though they can be fudged, people like they don't know that. And when you working, you're not cheating the system. You're just doing everything way supposed to be done.
Organic.
But you're comparing yourself to someone who's cheating the system probably.
Right. And
now you're discouraged. You're like, I'm gonna just bow out. So oftentimes I do feel like I might not support. I might not care about what they got going on, but I try to share because of the light I have, It's like if you share like I said, I'd rather take a share from you than listen for someone who ain't going to tell nobody about it. Because that may garner more listens, and then you talk to people that philosophize and that want to talk, and I feel like that may help create more conversation for what I got going on. So if you share one, and then 3 people like you share and also say things,
right.
Then for every person that share, I done got 7 to 10 shares of you sharing versus that one listen that I never hear about and I don't know nothing about it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And sometimes that you need that because I don't know how you feel about in the art and stuff. Sometimes you feel like, damn, like, are the people listening? Like, do I need to? Mm-hmm. So you need to know. Sometimes that will get you through that one comment, like, yo, I like when you said this, that. And like, damn, okay, somebody listening. And then for that one person, I be counting 10. I be like, because there's probably 9 other people like this person that just won't tell me.
Right.
Or that just don't feel like he need to know because he got 10 shares already. He need to know because which is why I feel like you gotta reiterate what you want and support. If it's like you said, you might not dialogue on a post. We message a lot. It might be a message thing you do, like, but it's something to say. You know what? Then okay, this person rock with that. It's information too. Okay, he like that. Okay, I'm gonna try to do some of this more because it might be more people I like that just like he like that. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. And this might sound weird. Is sometimes the artists need to support themselves. Like they need to do a better job at supporting themselves.
Right.
For example, you know, I'm not going to be specific. Just this has happened over the years. Say I create an event and I have 3 performers that are performing on the event, and I create a flyer, and it got their faces and their names on the event that they're going to be at this place on Saturday. Well, I'm sharing it. I'm doing my job, due diligence as a promoter. So I'm sharing it on all the platforms that I can share it on. It's all over my social media and everything like that. But then the artists themselves are not doing the same work that I'm doing. But I don't know your fan base.
You know it.
I'm not Facebook friends. You and me got 2 Facebook friends in common. So they're not likely going to see my post.
Right.
But if you share it, they'll see it and know that you're going to be at such and such a place on Saturday. They got to support themselves too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time, I feel like almost like, I don't know. I mean, like, almost like they're refusing to support at that point. Like, in lieu of you not wanting to support me, you're really hurting yourself because you didn't, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You just wanted to like show up on Saturday, do your thing, get on the stage, get off the stage.
You made a good point. You said, you know, they wanted to come, show up, and do that. And I think that's when you get that flip side of something, right? And this is just my theory, right? And like I said, the post, I agree with it, and we got ways we view support because everybody got their own way of viewing it. But for the artist that is on a flyer, is on an event, you're sharing it. You know what I'm saying? He or she's not sharing it, right? Yeah. What I don't like about that is I feel like, almost like you said, I'm gonna read what you said verbatim. You said, when I attend a concert of my favorite artist, I don't feel like I'm going to support the artist. I'm genuinely going because I want to enjoy the show. I think sometimes those artists that aren't sharing it and doing that think that they're that favorite artist already.
Or think that that's not their job. Like, it's not, I'm not the promoter, I'm the artist. Like, this is the promoter job to share the flyer.
That comes from that mentality that your Kendrick, your Drake had. Kendrick and Drake can do that. Mm-hmm. They can most certainly not share, they don't have to share another flyer a day in their life. It is Google News they're performing tonight.
Right.
Google gonna do that for them.
Right.
But behind the scenes also, a lot of people getting paid to say, hey, make sure you go to Drake. It's a whole bunch of budget into that, right? But I think the artists don't see that. They see that I can be this person, so I'm going to just move like this person move. They don't share a flyer. I ain't sharing no flyer. But that's dumb. I can guarantee when that person was in your shoes, they were sharing every damn flyer they had to share to make sure they got where they had to go.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of, in this day and age of social media, I'm seeing a lot of recognized artists doing that. Like, actually, like, dropping a little live video like, hey, I'm Alicia Keys or whoever, and I'm going to be performing at such and such and such.
Someone who's prominent in the South is, I'm going to use rap, Boosie. Very prominent in the South. They love him out here, right? I don't have a problem with Boosie. Mm-hmm. But he hustles. He supports him. Like, if nobody supported him, it wouldn't matter. He's going to make sure he's number one supporter. He do videos. He'll do all that stuff. You think he has to do that when he come to Augusta? You think he had to say, hey, I'm coming to Augusta? Y'all know. He don't have to do that.
Call it a drop.
Don't have to do that.
He didn't do the drop, right.
But he do it because that's what artists do that want to sell out the show, that want to bring the supporters out, bring his following out. Yeah. So if I see him doing it, I hate to use the word local artist, indie artist, whatever, not doing it, I often tend to think, okay, that person must feel like they're above doing that. Mm-hmm. And once you feel like you're above doing that, I feel like posts like these are null and void to you because you're already saying you don't support yourself, so why would anybody else support you? Mm-hmm. I thought you got to be number one supporter, first of all. Like, I'm not going to... Nobody gonna outshare me on my own stuff.
Right.
Like, I'm gonna make sure y'all see it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Once I do that, then the rest is
I'm gonna be the number one fan and supporter right here.
Yeah, and I feel like that even with artists with videos and stuff. Like, you got a video, share it. People artists, I seen a guy named Black Elmo. He's a videographer. He posted up that he said, yo, y'all artists be making these albums or these mixtapes, whatever y'all doing, and y'all make 5-6 videos to it. Y'all post it one time and think that the world put the shit for the rest of their life. You need to do that. That's your job. But then you have somebody complain about support, and that's why I think that the whole topic about support be beaten to the ground, because you got so many people doing it wrong, and then you got it's just wrong some across the board how some people are moving, their theories on it, why they feel this way, and there's so many different aspects of it, and then it's like it starts to get disgusting. So me and you can have a perfect dialogue. I'm fine on the support I have, or like or whatever. You may be fine with what you have, right? But I also know what I want. You know what you want. But I also know how I move. You know how you move. But you got another artist who probably in the same vicinity as us, that's not doing the same thing, and it's like they're gonna remember that one person that's just an asshole. They just he don't do this, he don't do that. This wrong, this wrong, and now it get disgusting because they're not doing it right. If that makes sense, they're not talking about it right. It's not the right dialogue. It's unprofessionalism. It's a lot of stuff that go into that. So when you talk support, a lot of times people start yawning because like, oh, here you go.
Right.
But I'm me. I'm not that guy or that guy or that girl, you know? So it's a lot that go into that, I feel like. I do want to read this other part. It says, people in the arts community often say, please support your local artists. Artists and artistry isn't charity. We created art for you to appreciate because it's what you enjoy. Mm-hmm. I think that you're right when you say, when people in the arts community say, please support your local artists, they look at it as charity. So already, once you say that, like, yo, make sure you support your local artists, it's a chore.
It's charity.
It's already somebody, it's your mom telling you to clean the bathroom, take the trash out, do the dishes, clean the kitchen, you know what I'm saying, cut the grass.
Donate to Cancer Foundation. You know, like these are charities that, you know, need your help.
And I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying when you say it, that's how I want to make sure that's clear. That's how it's perceived. We're not saying that if somebody say that, don't do it. All I'm saying is when it's being said, in most people's eyes, it's looked at as when you come off Bobby Jones, the exit, and you have Peachtree Road and Bobby Jones, and that guy saying, get the sign right there. That's what it looks like. Mm-hmm. And you at the car like this, trying to look straight ahead, or you wondering if you catch your eyes, you got to give them $1. That's how it looks when somebody says, support your local artists.
It does.
Think of a sign and it's saying support local artists, and you at the damn red light.
Think of the kid that's standing outside Circle K with a CD with Sharpie on it. You see what I'm saying? Like and we buy the CD. Why? Not because we know it's gonna be hot. Like we probably 9 times out of 10 might not listen. Yeah. But you got a young guy out here and he ain't dealing dope. He's doing something constructive with his time. Mm-hmm. He's in the studio when he could be on the block. Right. And he's selling, he's got a dream. Here go 5. Boom. I supported that kid. You see what I'm saying? Right. And nothing wrong with it. I'm, you know, like you said, we're not
reason
saying
for why you support. Right, that's a good reason.
We're not saying
selling drugs.
Yeah, we're just not saying we're not saying don't do it. But I was saying in the post as an artist, that's not my goal. My goal is not to get everybody to support me.
As an artist who's pushing artistry, because depending on what you put, if you out there doing it just for the money, you might not care for whatever reason. Don't know why, but when you truly pushing artistry, numbers really don't matter to you as much as genuineness matters to you. Mm-hmm. So you can build on that, because that's the thing about artistry. Like you said, your target audience. You could be in the game for 20 years, 10 years. And still be trying to find your target audience, you know what I'm saying? Because of the fluff and the amount of supporters you've gotten, right? You might have got some because y'all was cool. Now y'all, you ever fall out with somebody and they stop sharing your stuff? It's like, okay, wait, did you like it? Damn, like,
right.
That's why if I'm cool with somebody and we fall out, I continue to share their stuff. I could be at odds with somebody. I continue to share their stuff because if I genuinely support what you're doing, what me and you got going on personally ain't. Unless I just can't see and you block me, that's different. But I'm going to find a way. If I see, I'm going to support it just because that's how I am. I'm not going to make anything personal we got. But because I know sometimes people pushing true artistry. They're pushing true. They got trying to leave a legacy behind. They're trying to convey a certain message, paint a certain picture. I'm always support that off that alone. So when you ask why, your whys, you should be able to ask why. When you share something, I'm going to start asking, why are you supporting this? I want to know what somebody say. I might start doing that just to be an a-hole. Not in a bad way. Just like I want to know what they say.
You want to know.
I just want to know. Like, why are you supporting this? I
might start that's what the post says. It says it leaves to question.
Yep.
It leaves to question. Like so now I'm wondering am I any good? You know, like, are people really digging this? Well, because they bought a CD, does that mean they really like dig
Right.
what I put out? Like, or were they just supporting? Now I'm questioning my own talent.
And then go back to that's a good point you made to make it full circle, because a lot of times people question their own talent for a lack of support. And then when you get the false support, you create
No
you
win.
still testing it because or
Right.
questioning it because it's like, oh, he did put a fire emoji. What does that mean?
Right. Okay, so this kind of puts it in a different perspective. Think about it. Think about if you were having this dialogue with someone who's a chef.
Okay.
Okay, how would that be different? And then this would make much more sense, because people aren't going to buy food that they don't like to eat.
Right.
Nobody's going to be faking the funk. You know what I'm saying? No, you're not going to really get all those other kinds of support if you got bad food. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really digging it. Like, if somebody, you get repeat customers buying your dish, they really digging the way it tastes, the creation. They're not buying the dish because they're supporting whoever is in the back in the kitchen cooking it.
True enough.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they're not. That's not anybody's motivation. When they maybe once they might say, hey, you know, so and so got a new restaurant, let me go check it out. You know what I'm saying? But it's not going to be no repeat thing. They're not going to continue to come there and support you just because you're a cook, but they don't like your food. We as the artists, because that's culinary arts, right? We as the creatives, that's what we want. We want you to enjoy the food, the creation. We want you to genuinely be buying this product because your taste buds say, I want one of them burgers that I had the other day from so-and-so. You know what I'm saying? Because that joint was good. They're going to tell their friends about it. You know what I mean? It's going to be genuine because it tastes good. You know, they're going to bring a burger to somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Because they enjoyed the product that much. None of that had anything to do with I'm supporting the creator, the chef in the kitchen.
True.
It's all about the product.
Definitely.
It's all about the product. And as artists, that's what we want. We want to create something that you are enjoying and you want to buy it because you enjoy it that much.
And I want to make sure that when people are watching this and we're talking, because we make a lot of points, that it's never a thing of saying someone doesn't want support. It's just really dissecting and looking at what the word support even is, and how people approach when it is support. It comes from a sense of, okay, maybe that person's struggling, let me help them out, as opposed to, I like this, let me check it out. I like this, let me send it to my friend. You ever like a song, you send it to your friend? Jim, you gotta hear this. That's kind of what I want.
That's what,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
my objective. As a creative, that's my objective. I want people to actually like the product.
After, you want people to be so, we using the word supportive, and I guess when you think about it, we use it wrong. But you want people to enjoy the art so much that they want others to enjoy it as well. Let's say that. So when that new whole verse drop or that Nas drop, and you see, I'm gonna use Bomani. You got Bomani posting, this album is it. That person didn't tell him to share it. Nobody said, hey man, Joey Badass ain't selling no albums. Just, tell his timeline. His album kind of nice. Nah, you generally saying, y'all, I'm enjoying this album right here.
And I think
y'all might want to listen
too.
to it.
Right. And I think you will too.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or me saying, yo, this person's the best out. This rapper the best out right in this area. He don't know me. I don't know him. I genuinely like his raps. And I felt like, damn, I checked out every rapper around him, and I feel like he might be the best one. Y'all might like them. So now y'all gonna check him off me saying that. So it's just certain ways you can always do it. And like I said, it's about how you support people. I know for me, like I said, I just genuinely like to do that. I would definitely tell the consumers or the friends of people, whoever, if you are supporting somebody, that's a dope question to ask. Why? Mm-hmm. Why are you supporting this person? And when you think about the why, what I would definitely suggest, I know it's probably asking too much, but as you support, let people know why when you're supporting them. Because then I ain't got to ask you why.
Or wonder why.
As the artist, I ain't got to wonder why.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
the other motives is a good question, because people could support you for a lot of reasons, or be sharing your stuff, or whatever support like to you, whatever, sharing, they just promoting you, bigging you up, whatever, for different reasons. And you might think that you're doing a good job, but it's because I see you might make it somewhere. Let me just stick around, so you can say, hey, I remember me, I was your man, like, it's always some ulterior motive. It might not be nothing to do with what you're doing at all.
I got one supporter. I got one friend who is a supporter who has never come to any event, and I don't expect him to see at any event. But this brother right here is going to hit share every time.
Consistent.
And I want to say thanks. Thanks to my man, Tim Harkins. You know Tim.
Tim, shout out to Tim, man.
Right.
Yeah, I wrote to him
and
for a
he's an
little while.
avid supporter,
Yeah,
right?
shout out to Tim.
He's someone who, in his capacity, he does what he can do to support. We don't expect to see Tim at an event, but Tim's going to share the flyer. Tim's going to share a post.
Yeah, and he's going to interact.
And he's going to
He's going to comment,
Right.
give you some dialogue.
And I know Tim. He's going to talk about it to people that he knows.
You seen Trav? You seen that new thing he posted?
Because that's what he
how it
does.
goes, yeah.
When I'm around him, he talks about somebody else.
Shout out to Tim, man.
and what they're doing. Right.
Yeah, I liked him. I just thought I knew him for a little while, but I mean it go further than that because I was way younger back then. But yeah, shout out to Tim. That's a cool dude, man.
Yeah.
Real cool dude, man.
Tim Harkins.
So I want to end it with the ending part. It says, I'm not sure. Well, I'm gonna read the whole thing. It says, I say have a good time and do what brings you enjoyment. If that enjoyment is checking out some of my art at an event, we both win. I'm not sure anyone will get what I'm saying. With that being said, thanks for your support. So in all, it's like, hey, we just breaking it down. But if that's how you're gonna support, thank you.
Right.
If you're gonna come out of guilt, hey, thank you.
Yeah.
If you're gonna come out because, thank you.
At the end of the day.
We just breaking down the ideology behind the support factor, and I think that's amazing
Or
that you did that.
the approach,
Yeah.
the mentality as an artist or a creative is for me to say, I'm not looking to create things that I have to rely on my supporters
Right.
for that to be a success.
Yep. I like that though. I think like and I hope that people actually can go through the whole thing and don't just put fire emojis in the comments. Reading the whole thing is like, yeah, it's a mind-boggling thing. But when you think about your work and your art and what you do, this is that. It's like I started off with this, I ended with that. You probably like, well, how the hell are you gonna start off here, but then end with things like now I'm puzzled. You dissect that. That's what art's for. You dissect that and you perceive it how you want to perceive it. I know what I meant when I said it. Take from that what you will. And that's the same thing with support.
Yep.
You might support me one way, the person support me one way,
Right.
the person one way. I gotta dissect all that and take it how I take it.
And we sparked a dialogue, right?
Yeah.
We spark a dialogue. That's what you want to do with your
All the time.
podcast.
All the time.
Is spark a dialogue. If somebody watches this, listens to it, and then now they're having a conversation with their friends,
Right.
based off of this conversation.
Exactly.
That's the win-win.
Win-win, man. And honestly, you can't. That's all you can hope for sometimes, because it can be a lose-lose, and those ain't ever good.
Right.
So
Yeah. Nobody's talking about.
I take the win-win.
Yeah,
over
ain't
anything.
no wins, right? Nobody's talking about you. Nobody's coming to your event. Like nobody's buying your
Right,
CD
right.
or even listening to it. That's the opposite. So I'm appreciative. I'm grateful. I'm humble. Like I said, there's no way I could have been around doing what I'm doing for this long without the supporters.
Right.
So it's kind of like what's the word when is like two opposite meanings of the same thing.
Catch-22 almost.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's like that's why I said, man, I'm almost kind of like falling on the sword. That's why before I put the post out, that post is probably in my head for a month with me just trying to like figure out how to carefully say it.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that you allowed me to come on this platform to explain and elaborate on what it is that I'm feeling, because I didn't want to come off insensitive or ungrateful.
Yeah, but I think a lot of artists probably share that same sentiment that you have there, but have worded it in the probably worst way possible.
Oh yeah, the 10-year ago Trav
Yeah, see,
When I look at my own memories, a 10-year-old Go Trav would have said this in a total different way and would have isolated myself even further.
so I just want to make sure too that when I say this, when we talk about this and people take this in, that I also want you to know, like I said, Trav been in the game for a minute, so he's seasoned, right? Some people that aren't seasoned couldn't make this post. So I have to be mindful of where you at in your growth or your journey to make these kind of statements. This is a bold statement, but it comes from a place of I got X amount of years of experience to word this correctly.
Yeah.
Some people don't have that experience yet.
Right.
You can't be in the game 2 years and make this thing and think it's gonna blow over. It don't work that way.
Yeah, no.
You got 2 years worth of information. That's not enough.
Right. Yeah.
But when you tenure like that, you can kind of see and you've been in situations. Okay, I'm seeing now. You got 20 years of data to make this post.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's all it is. It's X's and O's. You and I, we study.
Right.
We study
Right.
what it is that we do. We're proud of our craft, and we're students of the game. And like you said, we've tried what didn't work. You know, we haven't always been successful. Everything we put out isn't a success.
I always say it's
know
a
what I'm
week-to-week
saying?
basis, man.
Yeah, it's going to always be peaks and valleys, and when we win, we study what we did when we won
Yep. And you go from there.
to duplicate that again. Like, okay, man, that was a win. All right, so let me kind of duplicate that again. Okay, so when I was like, in a valley down here, what was I doing? What was my mentality doing? What
questions.
mistakes were? Yeah, my own self asking my own self
questions,
questions. Right.
Yep. And I'll end with that. Like, definitely, you supporting and you sharing. Ask questions. Those are important. You know, like, it's important. It's important people to get support, but it's stages and all this. It's stages. So, like, you don't get to this stage without seeing the stage of having that support, but weeding out that out of the 40 people you thought was really sharing this, that, and third, it's about 7 true ones. So now you got 33 that's probably just there. They're the end. Thank you for your support.
Right.
Either way.
Right.
But you got 7 you got to focus on. So it take a minute to get there. It's all a grind. There's none of this is easy overnight at all. So if anybody thinking that, it's definitely not. So dope conversation, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
think we have a dope conversation. This is dope.
Always.
Hope I didn't scar you. Hope you're not scarred.
I hope
that we talk
nobody's
about scars
scarred. Yeah, I hope
man.
none of the listeners are scarred. I hope nobody's salty with me. You got an issue with me, come to me. I'm accessible. I'm just saying.
Right on one of his pieces, all right?
I got a new poem, and
Hey, man, I'm ready to hear it.
ready. I'll tell you the title of it because we're on air, and it's new. It's called Soar, the Debridement. It's a play on words. Soar, 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 or like a scar, soar.
Got you.
And you know what the
It's a double
debris,
entendre.
you know what a debris, it's a double entendre. It's
Double
really
entendre.
a triple entendre because sore could be a physical thing like a wound, or it could be someone who's sore, meaning they're upset.
That's the double
about
one. So
something.
the triple is the...
The flying like a bird, soaring in the air.
Got you. I like that. Now I'm curious to see what it's about because you normally, especially when you announce you got something, I mean you got something. You got something.
I got
'Cause
something.
you normally don't announce
I
it
got
unless you
something to
know
say.
you got something.
I got something that needs to be heard. Yeah.
All right, man. I'm gonna leave it there. I like that. I like that.
Soar, the debridement.
Is it gonna be just audio, video? How you putting out?
I mean, all I've done at this point
Written
was
down.
write it, and I'm kind of like in a memorization process now,
Okay.
and rehearsing, and I got a few appearances coming up here, and I'll be doing that one soon.
All right, man. Well, definitely be checking you out, man, and I will be supporting, and I'll be telling you why
Yeah,
from now on. Okay, so we so we know what it's doing.
I appreciate y'all's support for real.
All of it, every single
All
last
of
one,
it.
all
Yeah.
100%.
For whatever your motivation is,
Yeah.
I support.
You was
I
always
support
there,
y'all
man.
too.
Yeah, you
I'm a
good.
supporter. That's the thing about it is, we're both supporters. Like we're
Yeah.
heavy supporters and motivators. That's what we do. And that's what we're kind of like known for is like supporting. Like
Yeah, kind of.
we're known for that. Yeah,
pretty
exactly. And that's why it does come back around.
Oh,
I'm
full
appreciative.
Full circle.
Yeah, it's full circle.
Hey, man, appreciate you.
All right,
Stopping
brother.
through, man.
Wow.
Hold it down, baby.
Indeed. Peace.